Titans and Browns. Now, here's what's interesting on this look-ahead number for next week. Because the Brownies, and we're going to get into their game tomorrow night against the Steelers. Are you more apt to play a game? And I said this to you last week, I believe it was, when I was like, hey, Jets and Bills just beat each other up. Now, I wasn't rooting for injuries.
Right.
I didn't know Aaron Rodgers was going to suffer a season-ending injury and play number 4. But as a Cowboy backer, I was like, hey, I just want this to be a physical Monday night game. So when the Jets go, you could have got the number then before the Rodgers injury. Cowboys are about 6.5 point favorites. Of course, after the news and the injury on Monday night, boom, that thing skyrockets to 9.5, 10. Do you look at it the same way? That if you want to back the Titans, let's say, you're just rooting for a physical football game for the Browns and Steelers tomorrow night in Pittsburgh, and that 4.5, who knows what it looks like depending on what happens tomorrow night.
Yeah, a lot of this adjustment is going to be obviously injury-based. I think this was a 4.5 on the opener, still basically 4.5, maybe a couple 5s out there in the market. But with the Titans today, they had a couple DBs that were out, a couple guys in the secondary, Monty Hooker, Christian Fulton. Hooker should clear concussion protocol, one would think. Peter Skoronski, though, left the game. Their first-round lineman out of Northwestern, Chigakwonkwo, their tight end, also left the game, so that is something that you certainly want to keep an eye on. Obviously, tomorrow night's result, and we'll get into the Monday night doubleheader later on here in the program and look at those two games very quickly. You got to see what the Browns' injuries are gonna look like.
Yep.
They're going to Pittsburgh tomorrow, very physical game, division rivalry, so nothing yet for me. I had the Titans, one of my few winners today, +3. Probably got a little fortunate, but look, Tennessee is one of those teams when they're an underdog, too. Mike Vrabel, by the way, adds to his ledger.
I was just going to say,
his ledger as an underdog.
There are certain teams that if you've been betting bad football teams, you're just cashing tickets. Arizona 2-0 ATS this year. The Rams 2-0 ATS this year. And Tennessee now 2-0 ATS this year, even though they're 1-1. Arizona's 0-2 for the year with the overall record, and the Rams are 1-1. And that kind of leads me there. If you're a Titan backer, do you wait? Do you think the number gets bigger from 4.5?
I don't know. It depends on what you think's going to happen tomorrow. I kind of lean Pittsburgh. I have them on a pending teaser, by the way, up to 8.5. By the way, 2 is the number now. But, you know, just looking at this, almost when in doubt, Dave, I'm going to like Mike Vrabel as an underdog because I always like Mike Vrabel as an underdog. By the way, now 25, 15, and 1 against the number. And I think 24-9 because the spread didn't close 3, so I shouldn't say that. 23-9-1 against the number when the spread is 3 or higher. He's now 21-20, by the way, as an underdog straight up.
Boy, you're just cashing.
So you won 21 out of 41 times. This guy just knows. Wow. You know, he is just so much better in the underdog role than he is in the favorite role. So, I'm not a guy that just plays like trends like that. You have to look at context. I would lean Tennessee here, but I think the number could drop to 3.5 or 4 if they lose in Pittsburgh tomorrow, even though they are small road favorites.
I'm with you, though. There are certain trustable coaches. Again, I don't mean to harp on Brandon Staley. That's one guy I can't trust in the betting market right now, even though how good their team looks on paper. Vrabel is the direct opposite of Brandon Staley, right? If they were supermodels and Brandon Staley came down on the runway with his team, you're like, wow, that is a hot-looking football team.
Yeah.
And then Mike Vrabel and his cast goes out there with a wide receiver playing quarterback. You're like, these guys are ugly.
Exactly.
And they just print money.
That's what they do, man.
That's what it is a fascinating thing to me to watch these kind of those two styles, right? So when I look at Mike Vrabel, and again, he did it again today, and they get the outright win. And what he said last week really got my attention. He basically called out Ryan Tannehill in the media. So my quarterback's got to play better, right? We talk about it during the break. We're talking about, sometimes who's the message for? Is it for the media? Is it for the fans? Right. Or is it for the player? And it felt like that was for the player. Hey, Ryan, you're my guy, but I need you to play better. And the wide receiver played better today playing quarterback. And all of a sudden, he's not Justin Herbert out there, but he's got the moxie and he's running one in. And
he was very efficient today, 20 and 24 for 246 touchdown pass. Also had a touchdown run. That little read option that they did reminded me of Texas A&M days when he was down there in College Station. But look, Tannehill's playing for either a short extension in Nashville or his job somewhere else.
It's amazing, but this team just seems to figure out a way. And I'm kind of with you, Wes. I'd look at the Titans here. If you want to wait to see what the Browns do tomorrow night to see where that number goes, by all means, that total, by the way, right now, 41.5.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.